It is common knowledge that the people of northern Ghana maintain strict cultural and traditional practices. But in modern times, a number of these traditional practices have been found to violate basic human rights, especially the rights of children. Children have been used on farms as farm laborers because parents are unable to hire farm hands due to poverty, and as a result, children lose their right to education.
Parents do not seem to understand that as a child, the child has rights. And that is manifested even right from the time the child is born.
The Children Act 1998, Act 560, recognizes the vulnerability of the child and the difficulties they encounter, and therefore mandates district assemblies to ensure that children's rights are protected.
The district assembly has a lot of rules in protecting the rights of children. We do them in various forms. Basically, we do education and advocacy. We have people in other departments that are under us who go down to the communities to talk to them about the need to take good care of their children. Also ensure that these children get what is due them by the assembly or the central government. We ensure they are fed. The capitation grant is also promptly paid, and they are aware that no child is supposed to pay anything. So all in all, we also make sure that those that are very, very deprived get the basic ways to go to school, to make them feel that they are normal children.
By making sure that these responsibilities are fulfilled, NGOs such as Plan Ghana complement government's effort to protect the rights of children by forming rights of children's clubs in parts of the northern region.
We have 58 communities in the Sisala West District. And I would say about 95% of the communities have child rights clubs. We, as an organization, had wished that every community will have this children's rights club. But then it has not been easy. And that's because it is not very easy to form a club in a community that has no school, although various attempts have been made. If you go to some of the communities where there are no schools, the child rights club is in existence. But then it's not as effective as those that have schools.
In asserting their rights to opinions, children's club members have started meeting parents, community leaders, and politicians to discuss issues affecting them.
We are here to have an interaction with the DCE. So anybody who have a question to raise up his or her hand and ask the question.
Please, there's a problem in our community and in our school too, that's water problem. I think in town, in the community, our women find it difficult for water, and the same thing applies to in our schools too. In our schools, sometimes when our teachers, after teaching, they don't get water to wash their hands, and the same thing we find problem to maybe when we are thirsty, we don't get water to drink, and this water problem it has made us to we have lacking of some activities that are supposed to take place in Gulu here. They've now sent them the villages around Gulu, which is the sporting activities.
As far as I know, as a teacher, these sporting activities are supposed to be rotational. So maybe it's not just purely the water issue alone that deprive you people of that occasion. But whatever the case, I regret that circumstance. But the main issue you have raised about water is a problem we have specifically in Gulu town. And it has to do with the small water project system. We have worked on its expansion, and hopefully they will be able to expand it to your schools so that while you are in classes, you can easily have access to water.
Honorable DC, we are in election period and people place politics in Sasala West. So, conflicts comes between political parties and it affects our academic work. So, what are you going to do to solve this problem? And we want to have a peaceful election this year.
The election is not more important than the people. And fortunately, there had been inter-party discussions. We had the cause to bring most of the leaders together to talk to them about the need to have a peaceful election come December. So whatever we are going to do in the form of education, we will do that to ensure that this election is devoid of conflicts. We don't want our children to suffer. We don't want a situation where we will be leaving our homes. That is why we have cautioned every politician that you should not involve minors. At political rallies, we don't expect to see minors like you people following tracks and those things running around. When conflicts come, women and children, they suffer most.
There is a problem in our school. Our classrooms are no good. Whenever it's rain, we cannot sit in the class.
I actually sympathize with Golu LA. If you ask my officer, information officer, I've discussed this issue with him. We have a problem with your classroom and we have spoken to the stakeholders to renovate them, but as a temporary or somehow permanent measure. We have constructed a 3-unit classroom here, the EU building, where the JSS will move out. They should have been there by this week so that you can also have a better place for yourself as we renovate those that are leaking.
In the newly educational system, we have something called ICT, which deals with computer. And our school here, we doesn't have computer. The students study parts of the computer and how to use it, but we don't have it. So I'd like to inform you about this so that you know how to solve this problem.
That is our community information center. We are going to put computers there for you people to practice after your normal classes. Besides that, we are collaborating with other people to get you computers to ensure that everybody become an ICT literate.
Thank you very much, Honorable DC, for your concern for we the children. Meeting the district chief executive serves as an opportunity for some of we the children, because if we meet the district chief executive regularly, we will tell them some of the problems facing we the children, and I think he will solve it for us.
In our community, the leaders don't give us chance, we the children chance to talk in front of them.
We are the leaders of the community, and the children wants to come to us. First of all, they have parents. They must first of all discuss the issue with their parents and ask their parents for permission to be brought before the chief or his elders to hear their views. So a child, however, cannot just get up and come straight to the chief. No.
We children, we have problems. If you involve us in your decision making, we can be able to bring out our problems so that you solve us for us. If not, it will give us mental harm and also physical harm.
Beginning, you don't listen to children at all. Who is a child to say something? But today, you have to listen to children's view. Within this community, we teach children to be of good behavior and good citizens through observance.
Chief and elders of the community, there is a role in the community saying children are not to involve in decision making in the community. But please, seeing to it, time to come, we the children will be the leaders of the community. So we'll be very happy if you involve us in some of the decision making, so that if we become the leaders of the community, we will be good leaders.
Today, I will say that there's a tremendous improvement in the confidence level of the children. A few years ago, if you came into the community, even with a motorbike, children could easily, they'll just see you and scatter. I mean, we didn't know why these things were happening, but it's like right from the cultural upbringing, you need to understand that where adults are, children should not appear. So those days, you could come around, you want to talk with children as community facilitators, and the children are just, I mean, they are far away. You couldn't easily get them. But today, as I'm speaking to you right now, if you go into the community, most of these children have become role models, and they can even lead you to the chief, lead you to other opinion leaders, to the fact that they can even speak to some of these their parents about issues that concern them.
In granting children further opportunities to express their views on matters that concern them, the African Union has set aside June 16th each year as the AU Day of the African Child. This day, which is internationally recognized, is celebrated by African children to promote their right to participation. Across the length and breadth of the country, especially in planned Ghana program areas, series of activities were lined up to celebrate this important day, which focuses on the child.
The theme for our gathering here today basically means children should be included in decisions that affect them in order for them to express their views. This will make them feel part of the society. Furthermore, Section 27 and Subsection 5 of Act 30 of the same Children's Act 560 recognize the importance of children's opinion and have recommended the establishment of child panels even at the district assembly level to mediate in criminal and civil matters which concern a child prescribed under this act.
Plan International is an organization committed to achieving lasting improvement in the quality of life of children, especially in deprived communities like those that we come from this morning, through a process that unites people across cultures and adds meaning and value to their life. Our vision is of a world in which all children realize their potential, in societies that respect people's rights and dignity. It is important that we see the potential of bringing hope and a future to the numerous children who live in societies that do not allow them to participate and to contribute to issues that concern their development within the family, the community, and the nation.
Parents must take up their responsibilities, especially the men. That children come to this world not only by the effort of their mothers, but the mutual decision of both parents. We thank NCCE for their good work, but we would like to call them to intensify education on the Constitution in all the schools in Upper Manya. Thanks once again for your support and attention.
Today is an important day for me because all children in Africa must to celebrate the African Union Day.
Things that concern us, we know it. And when we say it, they should take it so that they'll pick the correct ones.
The Children's Club is important because it prepares us to be leaders. Teaches us our rights and community development planning, a communal labor unit committee, decision making. Children must be allowed to participate in that decision making so that they can also bring their opinions, so that their voice must be heard.
Why are you not in school?
We came to see you, Mama.
Come and sit. So, what is the problem?
It's about the place for the lorry station. We, the students, have decided that it is too close to the school. The lives of the students can be put in danger. Besides, noises from the car will disturb us, Nana.
But Aya, the elders have already taken a decision on this issue.
That's why we have sent to come and plead, so you will consider your decision.
I see.
Nana, good morning.
Good morning, Sobolo. Welcome. Please sit down.
Thank you, Nana.
What brings you here this morning?
And I concern the land I gave for lorry station. I've not been fully paid.
I know, but I think that we have to reconsider the idea.
And why?
You see, Aya and some of the children were here this morning, and they were very much concerned about the location of the lorry park. They think that it will be a threat to the children, and they also think that the disturbances there can affect their studies.
Nana, we have agreed on it already. When we change our mind, we will look weak in the sight of the people. I'm sure Teacher Akwesi, the Tuno teacher, is behind this idea. Remember, he was against the idea.
Good morning, Sebolo.
Be careful, Akwesi. Careful. This is not city. We are the elders of this village. Don't ever forget that. Go. Stop running and take your time.
The main issues are first the child right to opinion and how we should, when children bring out their grievances, we should give them audience and listen to what they have to say, and we should not always be looking at what we will gain or benefit, and that is sometimes if we ignore the advice, the pieces of advice of children, the consequences can be very, very great. The lorry station probably was important, but I think that looking at where the station was going to be sited, I think that the children had a more genuine cause. Sobolo is just one of those typical people in the society who is always out, to seek his interest. So far as he's concerned, everybody's interest is secondary. His interest is primary. And I think that in the end, it serves him right that he's the one who pays for it. Because sometimes if you always look at your interest, you become selfish, and it obscures your perception of the whole issue. Because you don't have a certain parochial interest in the issue. So I think that the way the story ended served him right. At least it's a lesson that next time when he's looking at an issue, it's not about just himself, but about his society. Because I think that in essence, that is what the African society is all about.